Second Cup, brought to you by the Nickel Plate. Sit, sip, savor, and shop.
Hi, everyone. Good morning to you. It's 8 o'clock on the start of your Thursday morning. Glad you're with us for Second Cup on the road, live on Broadway in downtown Buffalo at WUFO Studios. We are so excited to be here.
Yeah, such a cool venue because we're so used to the TV studio. Now we've got the radio behind us. It's so neat.
You know who I'm hoping that we see here today?
I know who you're hoping to see.
Love Sheila Brown. I'm so excited. Look, we've got a couple of things that we want to talk about with you this morning, including the idea that school could be starting a little bit later for some kids. Then we also want to talk to you about this ridiculous bill that's being proposed in Albany about speeding. Like, would you want your car to ding if you were going 10 miles over the speed limit, as if you were being told to put your seatbelt on?
Interesting.
I don't.
We know. A lot of drivers are speaking out about that one. And we also want to talk to you about the holiday schedule.
Oh my
because
gosh.
we had this on our air this morning and the weeks away that we are from certain holidays. So we are only 2 weeks away right now from Halloween, which fine. Okay, we knew that. 6 weeks from Thanksgiving, then 10 weeks from all the December holidays, because this year, Christmas, Kwanzaa, and Hanukkah all fall within the same week.
Yeah, I'm not ready for
That's
it.
so
though.
cool, though. I like that.
I think it's cool too. And you know what? When I was a kid, I used to love when Hanukkah and Christmas would fall on the same time frame, because it was like, okay, everyone's celebrating all together, and it wasn't one without the other, and everyone's included.
Yeah, it's like a big extra celebration.
Yeah, and what's cool this year is that Hanukkah actually stretches into the new year, which is bizarre to me. I feel like that hasn't ever happened. I mean, I'm sure it has in the thousands of years, but this to me is fascinating.
Well, it'll be fun to celebrate all together for sure. Jeanette says, look at us all cozied up in here. Yeah, no kidding. This is a totally different.
Do you feel like you're toasty with me?
Oh, now I do. Oh gosh. All right. Well, let's start. You want to start by talking about that speeding story?
Yeah, because
we know where you land.
Look, I go a little fast sometimes.
We know where you land, Leadfoot.
The last thing I need is another thing beeping at me, because sometimes I get a little caught off guard, let's say, when my car dings. Like sometimes it says brake, 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 and it dings. So it's like,
I will agree with you there that the new cars tell you so many things sometimes. And unless you're very aware, like I got my new car and I was not very aware of all of these things. So like I had my cruise control on and then I'd switch into the next lane to maybe go around somebody. And if somebody's not going as fast as the car thinks they should be going, it slows you down. Mm-hmm. And that was new for me because my old car did not have that.
Well, so that's like the adaptive cruise control.
And you can turn all this stuff on and off, but I don't know how to. So it's on.
How will your car know, Howard says, what the speed limit is? I asked that same question this morning. Are they going to know GPS, or can cars track us, or cars to track us? I don't need to be told. Then again, I have a State Farm app and I get dinged if I go over. But I feel like that's different.
So right now, your car, I mean, if you have the map on in your car, it can tell you what the speed limit is. Like if you look at it while you're driving, you've got the GPS going somewhere. It'll tell you speed limit 55, speed limit 65.
Right. And then Kim says, OMG, the new cars are something else, still learning. So and then somebody else pointed to the fact that this is already happening in Europe. Sarah, yeah, this speed thing already exists in Europe, and it was proposed in California, but the governor of California, Gavin Newsom, basically said, no go.
Right.
No dice on this because it's not going to happen.
Connie says when it comes to all this stuff, she just turns it off so they don't tell her. Kelly says there's just no way she could handle that constant beeping. And she said constant for a reason. It is. Like if you don't put your seatbelt on, you know how you get that consistent ding.
Howard, again, doubling down. I don't choose to be monitored against my will. I'm with you 100%, like hands off, like laissez-faire kind of thing. Like leave me alone. I'm on the road. If I'm going fast, that's my choice. I'm putting myself at risk, perhaps others. But you know what? Like that then becomes my responsibility.
Here's the one thing that I will say. I do think that sometimes people like, what if there's a situation where you need to go? I guess it doesn't prevent from going those tiles. Like if something happens, you got to get around somebody really fast, like, to avoid an accident or something like that. It doesn't prevent you. It just starts stinging. I don't know. It's just, do you want those alerts?
No.
Do you want to hear them all the time?
Well, and so we spoke to Assemblyman Pat Burke, who basically said, yeah, this is not going anywhere. He doesn't support it. I'm kind of the mindset that less government is a good thing.
Okay, well, here's what Sarah says, though. It does work. The seatbelt thing is annoying enough to work. And
Right.
that is very true. And Ed already knows. If I'm in the car with Ed, he's already got a speed monitor with him.
Yeah.
Because I am letting him know that we are going too fast. It happened on the way over.
It's my backseat driver, but I really couldn't see anything though. So like that, the sun was in my eyes, and I couldn't see what was happening. So
Don't worry, I could.
Denise says my area is so bad. The cars are always speeding down my street. I call it Welcome to NASCAR Speedway. Where is that, Danielle?
Yeah,
excuse me, Denise.
Here's the other thing too. Like nobody should be going that fast when it comes to like hopefully what Denise you're talking about, like maybe a residential place. There's no place for speeding like that in some areas. I see that sometimes in my neighborhood, people just flying down the street.
Well, and that's why some of those speed bumps were installed, especially in the Buffalo neighborhoods. Cindy says, I'm not into cruise control. I love it, especially on the highway.
I do too.
And in the newer cars, you're right. I mean, that adaptive cruise control to me is really helpful because not only does it keep you in the lane, like it gives you that vibration on the wheel, but it also lets you know, like it slows your car down automatically if the car in front of it is too close to yours.
It was new to me, I think was the thing. Like my other car was a few years old, so I get this new car, and it was just new to me when I started driving. There was something else that was new to me too, remember? And I had to ask you about it. It was the fog light thing.
Oh, yeah.
You can put those on. Like my high beams kept going on when I'm driving into work. And it turns out Paul had driven my car and accidentally hit the little lever a little bit. So then the high beams, when the car deemed it necessary, were going on and off. But I was driving on the highway. And I'm like, this is not safe. Because now I'm like, right, exactly. So that was a new one I had to learn too.
So Howard says at some point people need to be responsible for themselves. And that's kind of my point. Kenneth says, I don't want it, but I want Ed to have it. Thank you so much. That's so funny. Jason says, I don't have cruise control in my car, at least not that I know of. Speed bumps don't work either. Shirley says people still drive too fast. And then Peter says, I don't put my car in reverse until seatbelts are securely fastened and when the emergency exists. Exits are denoted. I get it. I understand what you're saying now, Peter.
See, my mom is the same way. She just got a new car and she says it's beeping at her all the time for something. I know. That's how I felt when I first got the new car.
It's annoying.
Yeah.
Well, and I feel like the annoyance is probably what they're trying to encourage so that you do what it is that you're supposed to be doing.
And we'll have to just wait and see if this actually even goes through. Because, you know what? I think it's a little bit of a stretch to say that it would. Yeah. I think that's going to get squashed. Not even brought up potentially.
No.
Yeah.
Brittany says, looking good today, friends.
Oh,
thanks. Brittany.
Yeah.
Kim says, my screen is like a giant tablet, and I have to set it before I leave home. There's no way I can do anything on the screen when driving. My husband loves speed control.
Yeah, I do too. I love the cruise control because you get in the lane and you go, and then you go around somebody, and then you get back in your lane. Like I just like it.
Mary probably should because I have a light foot. Listen, girl, we all do. Well, not by we all. I mean, I all.
Jeff Baker says speed bumps work in a 3/4 ton pickup. They make my dentures fall out.
Okay. Maybe you're speeding to the store to buy some holiday discounted items. We are seeing like a lot of money being spent between November and December of this year. $1 trillion is what some experts are expecting.
We've been talking about this too. Like, where do you land on your preparations for the holidays? Let's talk about all of them too, because we have Halloween coming up. Do we have candy yet?
No.
Have you gotten that yet? Are you ready for that? Is your costume set? Do you have everything that you need? 2 weeks away. Thanksgiving 6 weeks from now. And you know what? Thanksgiving's a little bit farther away than it usually is because there's a shorter amount of time between Thanksgiving and the December holidays this year.
So we posted this on our respective Facebook pages. So this is something that you can share too. Like to us, we were mind blown when we saw this morning. 2 weeks away from Halloween, 6 weeks from Thanksgiving. Like, are you ready for that?
You just start putting in perspective and you're like, oh gosh, I have a lot to do.
Right. Seriously. Like, I don't think that I'm prepared mentally. I like in my head, I'm still in the summer. And
well, snap out of it,
no
baby.
kidding. But like, you walk outside and it's beautiful out there.
We're going to have such a lovely weekend too. And so, you know what, when you get those beautiful weekends, you're not thinking about Christmas shopping for sure. Yeah, definitely.
It's good. Oh, so here's Lee. Lee is with us this morning as well. He's going to jump in just a second. He's going to join us.
Sneak in, Lee.
Here, pop your head in, Lee. Say hello.
He's waving.
You can listen to him right now on the radio. It's Power 96.5, right?
Power 96.5. Yeah.
There you go. Power 96.5.
We're getting ready for our expo, and we're going to be talking with some people from the health field.
Love
Yeah.
this. So we're actually going to be on with Lee at 8:30.
We were talking about the expo too. Remember, it was just last week?
Yeah,
when
with
Sheila
those
was
really
in?
2 handsome guys.
When Sheila was in, and yeah, those 2 handsome. Yeah, those guys were great.
I know.
Yeah,
They were awesome. Sheila always has the best people.
yeah. You guys remember?
Okay, I love Sheila.
We were talking
about
about the expo last week.
Mary says yesterday was a beautiful ride to Fredonia. Beautiful fall foliage. Did you hear my accent come out?
Full foliage.
Beautiful fall foliage.
Okay, so let's take a look here at what people were saying too. Howard, he always goes this route. Says the holidays are very easy. Gift cards from Amazon, less stress, no fuss, easy. Plus, most like them. Absolutely.
Yeah, it allows you to buy whatever it is that you actually want.
Melly, it's hitting her.
10 weeks. I know, babe.
Mm-hmm.
I know. Linda says we don't get any kids for Halloween. When we lived in Cheektowaga, we would get candy for 100 kids. Send our 5 kids out. They would come and empty their bags, and we'd give out the stuff they didn't like. We would get at least 300 kids.
Did your parents always go through all the candy that you got, or did you like lay it out when you got home?
I feel like we laid it all out.
Yeah.
Dana and I would always put it all out there and see what each other got because
you might want to trade a little
exactly.
bit.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Joyce says I stopped decorating. No one comes around to see anything anyway. So do you ever travel down Forest in like the Elmwood Village area?
Yeah.
Forest Avenue to Delaware. There's this one house in particular that has these lion gargoyles.
Oh, I know
outside.
exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
And sometimes whomever owns that house dresses them up and decorates the lions for like the season, the Bills game. Dana and I love passing by.
I'm going to stand by this. If you've got a lion gargoyle, you've got to dress it up. Like you have to embrace that and put a hat on it.
It's so funny. And you know, like it's part of like the motif of the house. I feel like it's one of those things where, you know, it just is. It's not something that stands out in any way. It's just part of the decoration.
Yeah, love it. It really is cool too. Like Paul actually pointed out, we went to that little holiday fall festival at the Richardson Complex, and we went down Forest to get there, and he was like, "This is so cool."
Michael says I'm a letter carrier. Oh, excuse me, a leather crafter.
A letter carrier. Oh, go on.
He's a leather crafter, so gifts are planned and made over the year.
Love
100%
that.
unique and a very personal gift every time. I love that.
I do too. Okay, Rosemary's already getting ready for one of the other holidays, Thanksgiving. Possibly 23 people for Thanksgiving dinner. So she's going to buy a little bit each week. That starts to add up. So, you know, doing the price tracking, I was thinking next week I'm going to look at the price of Halloween candy and try to find us some deals there. Like I was at the Dollar Tree the other day, and you know, most things are what, $125.
Right.
There's a couple items that are a little more expensive there. There were some $5 items there.
Okay, I've seen that.
And it was $5 for 30 pieces of candy. But here's the thing.
Is that a lot?
I felt like it was a lot, but I have not price tracked candy. So that's why I was like, I got to look at this because I got to get a perspective here. And I feel like, I mean, I could really do a really quick, like, let's do Walmart really fast. Halloween candy. And we'll see what we come up with. Halloween.
30 pieces sounds like nothing.
30. I know that's what I was thinking. But you know what? Realistically, okay, 30 pieces. Walmart Halloween candy for $5.94 here. Okay, so maybe you are getting a decent deal. Now,
but wait, $20 for 160. So do the math on that.
But do you need 160 pieces of candy?
You might.
Let me see, because someone was telling me Target. I want to look that up too because they were having some good Halloween candy, 30 pieces. And you want the variety.
Yeah, I'm trying to do the math here, and you know that I'm already having trouble. So it was 160 pieces. It was what? $20, $19.95.
160 divided by $20 basically.
So it's about 8 cents.
Do it the other way. So you want to do
160 divided by 19.95. Right?
Yeah. You want to do
Peter,
20
can you
divided
help?
by 9. How many pieces are there? 160.
160.
I keep saying the wrong thing. Okay, so they're
12
cents
cents.
each. You want to do it the other way.
Okay.
So then if we go to Target, let me see if I got that. Here's a 30 piecer for $5.43.
Okay, so
regular $6.79. So that's on sale there. So we're doing 5.43 divided by those. How many pieces did I say this one's 30? 18 cents each. So you're getting a better deal if you get the big bit.
Right.
But the thing is, like, What do you do with 160 pieces of candy? Maybe you get that many kids, but that seems like a lot of kids to me.
You know what you do? You bring it to work the next day.
I know there's always so much candy. There's always so much candy. So, okay, so I'll price check this for you guys and I'll take a look next week and see, where we can find some of the best prices. If anybody found some good prices, let me know.
Your mom wants to know, what kind of candy is it, though?
Thank you. Okay, so this was a variety pack. The one I was looking at, I actually think this is a good variety. You've got Kit Kats, Reese's, Haribo,
Ooh.
Haribo gummy bears, and Twizzlers. How do you say it?
Reese's Pieces.
Reese's. No, not pieces. The cups.
Reese's peanut butter cups.
Reese's.
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 Reese's peanut butter cups.
I gotta put my socks on.
And then wait, the Target one had, the Target one was the same.
Okay.
And you wanted that big bag too. The 160.
60.
Where did you see
Oh,
that
right
one?
there.
This is it? Okay.
Yeah.
That has Baby Ruth, Sweet Tarts, Nerds, Butterfinger, and Crunch.
Okay, not as good.
Butterfingers are so good.
I love a good Butterfinger, but like the Crunch bar.
Last year, I had my brother, was it on Second Cup that I was telling this, that I had to run upstairs. I was like, I got to take a shower for a little bit, so you got to hand out the Halloween candy. And I came down and he was picking out the Butterfingers, telling me it was his tax.
The cheese tax.
These are for the children, David.
Katie does not mess around. She's not comparing apples to oranges.
You got to pick what you like.
It's true.
So on Halloween, what were you really hoping to come back with?
Gummy stuff. Like I loved Twizzlers, Sour Patch, like those little, remember the little Hershey bars, not like the long ones, but like the little, it was like the Kit Kat kind of things, the with the Crispies in it. Do you know what I'm talking about?
We're talking, say what again, what they are?
Like those little Hershey, it was like the miniatures, but
Okay.
it was like, it had the Crispies in it.
Okay.
But what was that called?
I don't know. Do you know what he's talking about?
Crackle?
I don't know.
Crackle.
Is
I
it
don't
the
remember
Crackle?
those.
Yep.
It was
Now,
in the red band.
Here's a good one. Howard says he got 2 bags at Dollar General this week, 80 pieces for $10. So that's 40 for $5. And I
Okay.
saw 30 for $5. So that's a better deal at Dollar General.
Okay, so that's interesting. So I mean, like, I feel like you've just got to shop it out. Don't just buy the first thing you see, though it might be a little bit more convenient.
Let's see here. Snickers, Twix, and Smarties. Crunch. I know. See, that's the thing too. You can look it up online, so that's great. But like, if you're at the store and you're like, I'm not going to want to make the drive to fill in the blank,
Right.
whatever, just get it. Because in my opinion, like, unless you have to buy a ton of it, you're saving probably $1.
I guess
you
you're
know?
maybe paying for the convenience.
Couple
at that
bucks.
point,
Right, exactly. Mary says she loves Smarties. I'll tell you what,
I used to like them too.
you don't
I
see a lot
anymore.
of Smarties around.
Yeah. It's not my favorite anymore. Like as an adult, I just feel like it's a waste.
Oh my God. Do they still make those nasty Mallow cups? My mom used to love those things.
Really?
Yeah, those Mallow cups.
What about like the oh my God, they're the Susan things. They stick to your teeth. They used to be like a lollipop. It's like caramel or something. Do you know? It's like a long and
yeah.
it's in that yellow wrapper.
Yeah, and it wasn't like a daddy something or
It was
a
a sugar daddy, wasn't it?
sugar daddy. Is that what it is?
Yes.
You're familiar with the sugar daddy?
Sure need one. But it's a sugar daddy.
Yeah, thank you, Danielle. Sugar. Yeah, that's it.
Yes,
I don't really like
I
those
don't like those either.
because they stick to your teeth.
Yeah.
That bothers me.
Do you know what Oh, bit of honey also.
What about the Necco wafers?
Gross.
I used to like those because you only really get them once a year.
I do love getting full-size candy bars though.
Yeah.
Boston baked beans. What are those?
I don't know. I don't remember them.
Or what about getting those like awful orange circus peanuts?
Oh, yeah. Those are gross.
Blech.
I love an Almond Joy.
Me too.
Those are so good.
Paydays? What are paydays?
Payday is like that candy bar that doesn't have chocolate on it. It's got like the peanuts and the caramel.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Joyce says
You
Sky
look
bars.
at, see, I'm like looking at John over to the left because he's like Googling it really quick and he's like, you got it.
Yuck, circus peanuts. Mary says Snickers. I'm not a Snickers guy.
Me either. I like a Milky Way. And I like to put everything in the freezer. Straight to the freezer
Yes.
for me. Cold chocolate is the way to go.
Peanut M&Ms, always a favorite.
Oh, I love peanut M&Ms. Yep.
Mike and Ike's.
Yep.
Ooh, you like lemon heads, Roseanne? That's interesting.
Mhm. Mike and Ike's do it for me too. Those are really good.
What about those awful cinnamon candies? Like the fireballs?
Oh, yeah.
Did you? Hard pass.
Yeah, not as much my. Yeah.
Charleston chews in the freezer is what Melly says.
Yeah.
They do make a chocolate payday. Interesting.
Okay.
Anyway.
The Baby Ruths,
Mhm.
those are good. I like those a lot.
Butterfingers are always just a go-to.
Butterfingers are so good.
Mounds, Three Musketeers make my stomach hurt.
Yeah.
It's too airy for me. Like, give me dense. Something.
And I love that you can get little gummy bear packets now. Did you see that somebody had brought those in not that long ago in the newsroom?
And they were so good.
Yeah, we had a couple.
Just be careful. Like, speaking of gummies, be careful that you're not confusing gummies because you never know what you're going to get these days. Some are legal.
Check your kids' candy.
Right. Not for kids.
Check it. Safety first. We always do that. One more thing we should talk about is the start times in high schools.
Yes.
So Williamsville right now is taking a look at pushing back their start time. They've been talking about this for a while. And we talk all the time about how high school kids just do they get enough sleep? And I really think the answer is no, most of them don't.
Yeah, I agree. A lot of these kids, especially when you're not coming from perhaps the most stable house, you're always already at a disadvantage. And It's not to say that these kids are. And I'm not making that implication. I'm just saying, like, in general, things that set you back in the school day: sleep, early start times, instability, lack of breakfast.
Well, and here's what's interesting is, like, we're going to have this one district kind of take a look at it. And isn't that what it always takes? Like, one district to really take a look and maybe make the change, and then the others kind of start to consider it. Now, like the Buffalo district, for example, is a lot bigger than many districts. So they already struggle with those times. Remember, at one point they were staggering them for people.
Well, it was because of the buses also.
Exactly, because they have so many kids they have to get in.
Right.
So is it feasible everywhere? I don't know. But is it a conversation that's taking place?
Well, what's interesting in Williamsville is they want to move the high school about 45 minutes later. So in other words, instead of starting at 7:45, it's going to start feasibly at 8:30.
And the kids that we talked with were like, I would love that extra 45 minutes of sleep.
But does that mean that you can stay up later?
That's part of the problem. They're going to cheat on the back end.
Right.
Not all the time and not every kid. But I don't know. But maybe if you were used to going to bed at like 10 o'clock or something like that, you'll keep that.
That's true.
Wait, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
That's 8 hours.
7. And really, they say high schoolers, I think they say they need a lot of sleep.
10, right?
Yeah. How many hours high school?
While you're looking that up, Howard, devil's advocate, if you let them come in later, will they stay up later?
Right.
Is it worth it? See, Howard, like, you and I are constantly on the same page. Like, I am a devil's advocate person as it is.
So the CDC was saying kids 6 to 12 should be sleeping 9 to 12 hours. Teenagers 13 to 18 should sleep 8 to 10 hours.
So should Katie and Ed. Lo and behold.
Yeah, John, can we push back our start time?
We already have. Connie says, I have blood work today too, waiting for my turn now. Geez. Catherine says, elementary school kids should go first and high school last. It would help parents get to work easier. That's interesting.
I agree because, like, if the elementary school kids could get in earlier, then mom and dad can hit the road.
Elementary school for us started at about 9:15.
See, that's late.
Yeah, and then we were in school until about 3:30.
Yeah.
But all things considered, if there's a later start time, that means there's a later end time. So that might actually help parents in the long run.
See, right. You're again with your devil's advocate too. Like if they're starting earlier, then they're getting out earlier.
Right.
And then what are parents doing at like 2:30 when their kids are getting out of school? It's tricky.
The other Peter says it still comes down to how responsible are the parents. I wonder why you say that, Peter. Tell us more. Where are you coming from on that? Love to share your voice. In Buffalo, Kim says high schools, some start early and get out early. Interesting. I think it's something worth researching.
Like, let's explore it. That's what I think. Yeah.
And the worst that could happen is we just say no.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bottom
Give it
line.
or test it out, see if it works. If it does,
Hey, if you're getting in the car right now, make sure you're tuning into Power 96.5 WUFO. We're going to be on with Lee in just a little while. We love chatting with our friends here at WUFO. Miss Sheila Brown, the owner, love her to death.
Yeah, looking forward to that.
Unfortunately, Lee couldn't join us in the studio, but that's okay.
Well, he's got his own things going on. He's in like a conjoining studio here. We can see him through the glass, but he's doing his own show. We're doing our own show. We figured we'll knock this one out and then head over there.
Okay, so set your dials 96.5 and we'll see you on the other side. Have a great day.